All right. Good day, traders. Hope you guys are good. And welcome to the 50th segment of our weekly market breakdowns. So yeah, man, let's get straight into it. We're going to start by looking at NZDJPY on the monthly. And this is an update from last week's analysis. So I still think that nothing has pretty much changed. Our sentiment or our bias on this pair is still bullish, right? I just wanted you to note a few things. First of all, we have this previous monthly low and this previous monthly high, which will act as our areas of liquidity, right? So as we all know from our videos on the market cycles, that the market has a tendency of taking liquidity or of forming inductions that will go to certain areas of liquidity, taking up stop losses, and then moving in a different direction. So with that said, I think the first scenario will be us expecting the market to take up this area of liquidity and then moving towards the upside, right? Towards the upside. Or we will expect the market to take out this liquidity over here, tap into this demand zone, and then move towards the upside, right? It has much more, or it has greater incentive to go towards this low over here because there's a fair value gap here. But anyways, let's go to the lower time frame to see what's happening, as I believe that will give us a much more clearer picture. Right, if we move on to the low, the monthly high is here and the monthly low is here. So like I said, I think as you can see right here, there is a demand zone, potential demand zone right here. And okay, let's talk about this demand zone for a minute, right? It has broken through this opposing level of supply. But if we're being honest, it's not a good level to be trading from because it hasn't resulted in an overall break of structure. Broken through it. Yes, it's still valid, but I don't necessarily think that this is where the market will reverse. But then again, that's just my own opinion. Gap. So the market has incentive to definitely take out this liquidity here in the form of the low, and fill in this gap, right? The market has incentive to do exactly that before moving towards the upside. But like I said, another scenario that we can expect on NZDJPY is the market breaking the structure, right? And tapping into this nested weekly demand zone, right? And then moving towards the upside. If you zoom out, then you'll see that this will be, or the market in so doing will be forming a flag, right? And then moving towards the upside. This high over here will be our take profit if we get the opportunities. You get what I mean? So this is what I think will happen, right? If we go to the lower time frames, which is the daily, let me just remove these. All right, so this was last week's low over here. And as you can see, the market violated it. I actually forgot to talk about it when I was on the weekly chart, right? But yeah, that's the weekly low, and the market, as you can see, violated it. Right. So now, what I think will happen is I think we'll have a few moments of, or a short period of induction, going to retest this level, and then we'll go towards the downside to take out this liquidity, right? And like I said, expect a movement to the upside, right? Moving from the zone, right? This is a daily zone, or we will break towards the downside towards this level. Now, if we had to grade this level, the market has greater incentive to break through this low over here, because if you look towards the left, the basin candlesticks of that zone are more than 3, which according to our rules makes this a low probability zone, right? And now, because there is no imbalance right here, the market has the ability, if there is a strong movement, to break towards the upside, to break towards the downside, to tap into this demand zone over here. As you can see right here, we have a failure swing. All we need to be honest, is a break of structure. And you can say that we have a temporary or short-term downtrend towards the downside. So I'm leaning more towards us buying on a discounted level than here, right? So if we get a reaction or a rejection from the zone, what I'd want to see on a 4-hour is a change of character, a pullback, and I'll take a buy from that pullback. But anyways, this is what I see on, sorry about that. This is what I see on NZDJPY, right? Hope this example or this explanation makes sense, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Last week, we took a buy, right, from this, but it failed. So yeah, my first take profit, like I said, will be on this weekly high right there. But yeah, man, let's continue and go to other pairs. All right, the next pair that I thought we should look at is EURJPY. As you can see, nothing much has changed from the last time we saw it, right? We're still in an uptrend. The market still has incentive to go towards the upside. And it's all about getting the right opportunity to buy, right? Now, recently, in the past week, I have mapped out last month's high and low, because we can identify the highs and lows of last month as our potential areas of liquidity, right? As we all know, the market has a tendency of taking out areas of liquidity before going into an intended direction. Now, why that is important is because last week the market broke the previous week's low and closed net bearish, right? Now, the market could potentially drop towards the downside to take out June's liquidity, right? And then fill in this gap over here and tap into this weekly zone. So that's the first scenario that I'm seeing. Us having a bearish month in order to take out this liquidity first, fill in this gap over here, tap into this demand zone, and then continue with our uptrend. Or the market has to break through last week's high and then continue towards the upside. Now, in the long run, the market has incentive to go to this area right here, because as you can see, there is liquidity here in a form of equal highs, right? So just to be safe, I'll just use this level right here as my take profit, right? And then the market can take out this liquidity and potentially reverse, but I don't think it's a reversal that will result in an overall change of structure or change of sentiment, right? In terms of the trend is still intact, and unless the market breaks below this level, or actually below this one, I don't think the sentiment on EURJPY will change. This also constitutes as an area of potential liquidity because it's a swing high. But like I said, it would not necessarily be a train smash if the market broke or if the market continued below this level, because it's still an internal structure within the impulsive movement, right? The market has formed this fair value gap right here and hasn't mitigated the source of that fair value gap, which is this demand zone over here. So this demand zone right here is still pretty much valid, right? But I think we'll talk about the zone if this zone fails, right? Let's go to the daily. If we go to the liquidity, right, you'll see that there's a change of structure. So the market broke last week's low, right? And it's now reacting from this demand zone. Now, I think this demand zone will be taken out because it's not ideally located. Why do I say it's not ideally located? There's a higher time frame zone that's resting right below it. And there is a nested demand zone in that higher time frame zone. So the market has incentive to go towards the downside, right? Do I think you should sell? Not really. I don't think sells are high probability trades right now. But if you're able to, if you want to take the risk, you're more than welcome to, right? Like I said, this is just for educational purposes. This is not trading advice. If you're trading based off these breakdowns, you should check your life. I'm just kidding. But this is mainly for educational purposes, right? If you check out the 4-hour, you'll see, why is the market, oh, I have to go back to the one, to the daily. to show you guys the breakout. To show you guys the breakout. As you can see, the market is forming consecutive lower highs, lower lows. There's a break of structure, clear change of sentiment. You had a break of internal structure. The market came back, took out this order block, and now it's moving towards the downside. There is no imbalance over here. So the market has incentive clearly to drop, right? Now the market can continue to go towards the upside. Don't get me wrong, but I think the market has a greater chance of dropping, right, to a discounted level before moving towards the upside, right? So yeah, that's what I think. What I would do in this case is I would place my limit order here, right? TP here. And if the market reacts from the zone over here that I just deleted right now, I think I'd want to see a change of character. But a change of character is not really a strong signal, right? What I'd advise you to do all the time is take trades that have high probability. And what are high probability trades? Trades that are in line with all of your rules, not some, not a few, but all of your rules, right? Obviously, you will not see perfect trades all the time, but you want to avoid taking unnecessary losses, right? So yeah, this is my 2 cents on EURJPY. Let's move on to another pair. All right, another pair that I thought I should give you guys an update on is USDCHF. So if you look at USDCHF, first things first, it is currently in a correction or in a corrective phase. There's liquidity if you look here, and there's incentive to take out that liquidity to go and tap into this weekly zone. And maybe we can get a reversal from this weekly zone, right? So recently the market has been trying to fill in this gap over here. And as you can see right here, it formed a low over here, but that low was not really confirmed. Why? Because it failed to break through this high. And also this high is not confirmed. So this low went up and we had a failure swing. The market went down again and took liquidity from that low. Now we have two fair value gaps. The first one being this one over here, that the market, as you can see, tapped into some of the orders here and closed net bullish. And then we also have orders resting here, of which I don't know if the market will come all the way to this downside to take out those orders. What I do know is that here we have higher probabilities because it's a discounted level, but it could be a low probability zone at the same time because there's a lot of basing candlesticks, right? So to be honest, if we are indeed in a buying trend, or if we should be buying, what I want to see on the daily and also the 4-hour is a change of character. So let's go to the 4-hour, no, to the daily to see if we've got that change of character. So as you can see right here, let me just remove this, right? You'll see that the market took liquidity from that low that we saw and then moved into this daily zone. So it's an ideal situation, right? The market has incentive to go up because there's a fair value gap, and then the source of the fair value gap can be our take profit. What we want to see, because daily demand is in control, is a change of character on the 4-hour. Right. Now, on the 4-hour, what I see, if I'm being honest, is an ending diagonal. An ending diagonal is a reversal pattern, right? Because the market created consecutive lower highs and lower lows coming into this level. We ended up having a liquidity sweep over here. The market changed sentiment. The market broke previous structures, right? The market created a new low, right? And now the market is changing sentiment. As you can see, there was a slow change in motion. So I genuinely think that the market will come into the zone over here because there is no fair value gap. Obviously, I don't expect it to go straight away. I expect a little bit of manipulation, especially on a Monday. And then we'll go up, right? Like I said, if you zoom out, you'll see that this is actually an ending diagonal. Now, if you look at the orders, even on the 4-hour, there's a huge fair value gap right here. So there is incentive to go towards the upside. But yeah, this is just my 2 cents on USDCHF. You know what I mean? If you are trading these setups, guys, please, 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 I'm begging you, use proper risk management. Use proper risk management, because at the end of the day, we're just speculating here, right? So you don't want to be betting your entire account on one single trade or on one single outcome. And if this trade pops, this will be your take profit, this area of liquidity, right? If it fails, right, then I'm going to be expecting the market to be trading from this zone over here. So this means my limit order will be resting here. But yeah, this is a story for another day. This is what I'm expecting on USD CHF. Let's move on to another pair. All right, let's look at the second last pair of the week, which is CADJPY. As you can see, we have resistance over here. And like I said, we don't see resistance as an area to be selling. We see it as an area of liquidity. So we know that the market has incentive rather to take out orders there, either to continue going up or to reverse. So the market has incentive to take out this liquidity and change direction, right? But then if we look at other factors, I think that CADJPY is in an uptrend, right? Why I think it's in an uptrend, we have this low over here, we have this higher low, and then we have this higher low. These are overall structural lows, right? The market changed sentiment by breaking this high over here, by creating another higher high here. So as you can see, this is a slower moving uptrend compared to what we used to, but it's actually what's happening. And the high that I think it's targeting is this one, right? Now, if you look at the impulse movement right now, or okay, impulse correction, impulse deep correction, right? If we look at this wave right here, it's in an impulse state, right? Highs have been violated, and this is not just smart money, right? This is basic market structure. And then if you see right here, we left a huge fair value gap here. This is the source of that fair value gap, hasn't been mitigated. So this is our first potential area of demand. And then we also have a young fair value gap over here, right? Now, the reason why I'm talking about fair value gaps is simple. After every strong move, we expect the market to correct, because that's where we expect to get our entries. So after every strong move, eventually big players will take their profits. If they're taking their profits, you'll see the market being a little bit slower because orders are being taken out of the market. And if the price is right for them, you'll see them adding positions, right? So right now, we're in a process where we should be expecting a correction and potentially see what the market can reverse to. So there's potential liquidity here from last month's high and low, right? We've already identified our high and low. And the market, right, has incentive to take out liquidity on either one of those levels before going into the direction that we all anticipate, which is the upside. Now let's go to the weekly to see how we can make the most. So we have this movement right here, right? And I always say, when you want buy opportunities, you want to always buy a discount to avoid unnecessary losses. If you want to sell, you want to sell at premium. So now I'm in a process where I'm expecting for me to get a confirmation for a buy. I want to see the market dropping and filling in this gap over here. We have the source of that gap being this weekly demand. Now, if this weekly demand fails to hold price, that's when I'll sell. I'll buy from this zone over here. But assuming that this holds because this low is still strong, that's what I'm expecting to see, right? On the daily, what confirmation is there, right? So I tried to buy, failed, as you can see. The market is about to hit my stop loss. I think I'm gonna cut my losses and actually close that trade before the market hits my stop loss. Now, let's look at a couple of things. First of all, we have this opposing demand. Opposing supply, sorry. Have this opposing supply. So as you can see, the market took liquidity from this high, tapped into it, and now it's looking like it's dropping, right? We have this trend over here, which can also be a symbol of an induction. The market on a Friday closed net bearish. Now, like I said, the market has incentive to take out this area of monthly liquidity, go into the zone over here, and then move towards the upside. If we look at the 4-hour, you'll see that we have liquidity over here, and then we have a source of that imbalance. So the market can take out this or tap into it, right? Filling in this gap over here, taking liquidity from these equal highs, and then dropping towards the downside. That's what I think will happen. All right, let's talk about let's talk about what will happen if that does not happen. What will I expect to see? To be honest, I want to see a break above this high. If we don't see a break above 107.19, we shouldn't be buying because it's going to be low probability trades, right? But yeah, that's what I expect on CADJPY. Let's move on to our final pair of the week. Final pair of the week is gold. Like I said in the previous analysis of gold, that the market is stuck in between this range with there being liquidity here because of the equal lows. And what I saw in that video was that we had a breakout of this trend line and that I thought that the market was going towards the downside, right? At that time, I saw an opportunity to buy, but we didn't have, or we weren't profitable for too long. Now, as you can see right here, the market is dropping, right? It's in a downtrend. Why? Because we broke below this structure over here. Now, we had a failure swing. The market created a lower high, created this low, and also created another lower high. So I'd assume that on the lower time frame, you'll see liquidity being generated, because if you zoom in right here, the market failed to break above the high here, right? So I can only assume that it found some form of liquidity in the zone over here, and now it's dropping. So the market could, for the coming week, could still continue with the consolidation until it drop, or it can drop immediately, right? What we know about this low over here is that it's weak because it hasn't broken any opposing structure. And this high is also weak. Why? Because it hasn't broken any opposing structure. But what makes it more significant than this low over here is the fact that it's aligned with the trend, right? So yeah, I'm expecting the market to eventually break through this low over here. There is no imbalance over here. As you can see over here, the market is pretty much balanced. And I'm expecting to take profits from this low. As you can see right here, you have a divergence going into the zone over here. And that's what triggered the drop. The drop is also confirmed by a change of structure or a change of character. And then you see that the market reversed to also tap into some of the orders that it left. Not only did it tap into that order, it also continued to break another low over here, and it closed net bullish because you have a rejection on this low. So what I'm assuming happened, I think that the market broke this low, and now on the lower time frame, you'll see a supply zone that it was trying to retest after breaking structure. So at returning to an order block to finish taking some of the orders before continuing going to the downside, right? There is no imbalance right here, just this potential area of liquidity here. So like I said, the market can take this liquidity and go towards the upside, or simply reverse from this level over here. Let me just adjust this. Now it looks clean. Let's go to the 4-hour. Like I said, here's the break of structure, and the market is retesting, the market's retesting the zone over here. Doesn't look good, but what can we say, right? So we could literally get here. What I'd suggest you do is I'd suggest you wait for a bearish candlestick confirmation, before selling gold. And that sums up all I had for this week. It's been a long journey to 50 episodes of the segment, and I hope to see you guys soon. I'm dropping another video this Wednesday, trying to spice up content. If you have ideas for content, feel free to ask in the comment section, and let's create a platform where learning can happen, right? But yeah, I'm tired, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Peace.